All right, we are at the start of Feer Fiesta today. We're going to have 8 matches in this stage 1 round. It is a $1,000 prize pool, single elimination tournament with everybody I could grab up to play 1v1s here while everyone is in EU. So we have Jack, Rawas, Moxie, and Nas all with a first round bye. And all of these games are going to be played in the order that you see them here, starting with oKhaliD, then Jack, then Chronic, or oKhaliD, Atow, then the winner versus Jack, etc., 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 all the way to the end. And then after the semifinals, I'm going to reseed them. I'm not going to reseed them in the fairest way, almost certainly not. Instead, I'm going to reseed them for content and make sure that we get cross-region matchups. It might result in, the more unfair matchups, but hey, right now it's about getting fun matchups while people are in Europe and we maybe otherwise couldn't get them. So that's the plan. That is the plan with the Feer Fiesta. Super long stream today, and then the playoffs will be played tomorrow. Here we go. We have Atow versus oKhaliD as the first match in the Feer Fiesta. Winner is trying to earn a chance against apparently Jack. Coming up after this round, let me update so we get those flags on the scoreboard. It is the return for oKhaliD, or as you see him in the lobby as Dot, to 1v1. It's been a bit since he's been playing. In fact, I think his last games he might have played were in the Fear Fest. I think his match against Raziers is the most recent 1v1 match I can think of that oKhaliD played. I don't know if he maybe played some show matches here and there, but as far as tournament events, he was unable to take Raziers down then, and Atow is not going to be an easy opponent today, but oKhaliD has long since been able to take down absolutely anybody in the 1v1 field. Atow's been on top of his game, I would say, recently. There was a moment in which he was fighting for, one of the best players in EU. I think he's had a couple results that would take him away from that. Most recent being his matchup against Toxic that he played in One Shining Moments in the grand finals. That was a clear victory for Toxic, as oKhaliD goes back to the old classic, bounce dribbling his way down the field. Everybody just got sent back in time a bit. oKhaliD has changed his ones game a lot since he was dominating the field. He's still, a high-class ones player, but in a different style. And how I know for sure is that I actually had a video, I don't know if you guys remember seeing it, we went back and looked at the different peak 1v1 games across eras and watching oKhaliD, I believe it was versus Ixo. We kind of talked about this either last stream or a couple streams ago. You could see how much more grounded the ones meta was and how oKhaliD just farmed in that format. Now, forced into the air a bit more against the current 1v1ers in this meta, but something that oKhaliD very clearly had worked on himself. And as I talk about it, he'll take to the skies on an air dribble. Atow able to pre-jump over the top of it and pin this back into his corner. oKhaliD going to try and pre-jump Atow. That has been the recent change to start deterring people from playing in the air as much, because the aerial game has been so dominant. The defense has adjusted likewise and has started to preemptively pre-jump and discourage players from going in the air, force them back down on the ground, and almost most importantly, force them to their second option as opposed to whatever they want. That's really what it comes down to, is that players on offense have become so good that if you let them have exactly what they want, you will not be able to stop them. But if you force them to go to their second or third option, that's when you maybe have a chance. oKhaliD, air dribble bump. This ball is too high, but he actually taps it down and in. And I say it's too high. I could have been wrong about that. I think he might have saved it on his first tap. I want to see from Atow's perspective. It's even worse to tell. But what matters most is that oKhaliD is able to follow it up. Boom Shakalaka, thank you for the 20 months of Prime. This is the first of 8 matches we're going to be having today. So it's going to deteriorate over time. I think I've run 8 matches before. You guys remember my most famous 8-match stream is probably the one where Daniel won all 8 matches. He played 8 straight matches and won them all against increasingly tougher and tougher opponents. We are going to have new players in each one of these matches. But hopefully the stamina is there, just like I used to have in the past, apparently. oKhaliD, he says he still has everything he used to have, as Atow cannot protect the ball near the ceiling, and oKhaliD able to collect it for a flick. No, the plan is to just work incredibly late today. I'm just going to start my software job late and work it until midnight, basically. The things that I do for you guys. Atow plays ones. Yeah, I think Atow will be playing ones for his team in Gamers 8 as well. If you guys haven't heard, Gamers 8 is a tournament coming up that is crew battles, 3s, 2s, and 1s in the next coming weeks. Not this weekend, but the next, I'm pretty sure. And all the top players are going to be forced to play 1v1, so a lot of them are excited to get their practice in. And it's going to be a GG from Atow as oKhaliD just pulls away with 2 minutes left to go. Atow has had enough. But as I was saying, they're all prepping for it, and I think oKhaliD he might play ones for his team, but Atow is almost certainly going to play ones for Liquid. Game number 2, yeah, talking about Gamers 8 and who's going to play ones for their team. I think that TRK probably will play ones for the Falcons, but you never know. There's a chance that oKhaliD will. I think oKhaliD and TRK are both, in the ones ladder right now. TRK is a bit higher. I want to say TRK is rated 5 in the world, and then even when you ask oKhaliD, because I think I was listening to Johnny's interview with the Falcons, if you ask oKhaliD, he says that, TRK is probably the better matchup against most people. So does that mean the Falcons will be playing with TRK? I'm not sure. I messaged TRK about potentially playing, but and as well as oKhaliD, but we have oKhaliD here, no TRK. Is that a sign of the Falcons' plan? I don't know. Nice shot by Atow. Also, someone in chat mentioning that Team Liquid has oKhaliD, and that's true. oKhaliD is a very talented 1v1er, and when he has put time into it, has been able to put up a good fight against everybody in EU. But he doesn't seem to enjoy it as much. When I've asked oKhaliD about playing ones recently, he's like, nah, man, ones is lame. He'd rather play 2s with Atow in 2s show matches. So I think there's a chance that oKhaliD has had enough of ones, and that Atow will just handle the ones for them. That is what I would expect. I'd be a bit surprised. My guess is maybe if Atow plays a ones match, has a really tough matchup against somebody, and then because of it, that team picks ones again, I could see oKhaliD hopping in to try and, give that player a different look. But otherwise, I would expect Team Liquid to primarily use Atow for their ones. oKhaliD not able to get the flick off in time, but actually was going supersonic because he demos Atow. Now he's into the air. Can't find a way to bring the ball back on target. He clears this across his nets. How come Zen isn't playing in this tourney? I speculate it's because he probably wants a slight break after becoming world champion. I had to run this tournament very quickly because I am going to be out of town pretty much right after the tournament ends on Thursday. So it's only been 4 days, or 3 days as of right now since the end of the World Championship. So for those players who just won it and maybe got a bit burnt out, it doesn't surprise me that they're not playing. But I assume there's going to be more ones tournaments in the coming days when I am not around. Maybe we'll see Zen in those. Atow escaping from his own half and not able to score. And he knew he wasn't going to be able to follow it up either. So he just completely leaves the play. Felt like a position that Atow needed to score in. Not sure if I mentioned it since the match started, but Atow is also streaming his matches today. Asked if he could. And, you know, I don't know if any players are listening right now, but my policy is always that you can stream any of the matches you're playing on my channel. I'm not trying to hold exclusive rights to your gameplay. Anybody can stream their own matches all they want. Although I do think it, in general, makes it harder for players to win. I do think streaming has proven to be a debuff when playing. Not to say that you can't win despite it, but certainly I'll never stop players from streaming whatever they want to do with their own gameplay. Do you know where he streams? Yeah, his stream is Atow Rico, like his name is right now. But I think there's 3 W's at the end. But I tell you what, here's the secret hack, or a pretty easy hack for any player like Atow who's a pro. You could just go to the Rocket League category, and I guarantee you one of the first 8 streams is him. Because these pros, people watch them. People like to watch pros. And even if pros really don't stream much, which Atow actually does, they can usually just hit go live and rise to the top of the Rocket League category. You should not have to look very far. You know who would absolutely dominate in stream numbers if he were to stream is oKhaliD. And Johnny actually asked oKhaliD about the fact that, you know, I think he phrased it specifically talking about apparently Jack and how apparently Jack farmed him on 1,000 videos and 1,000 thumbnails. oKhaliD had, you know, the Giga Chad response, which is that he doesn't mind, you know, Jack can do whatever he wants with the matches he plays with. But Johnny asked him whether or not he'd be interested in doing content. And it sounds like he said not yet. But man, would his content crush. oKhaliD has a lot of fans out there. Atow able to punish oKhaliD for a poor challenge, really, because there's nothing too crazy about this dribble, but there doesn't need to be anything too crazy when he sees that oKhaliD is challenging from the ceiling. All he needs to do is slow down the play and force oKhaliD to pull as far off the ceiling as possible to make his attempt on the ball. The worst thing that Atow can do is keep dribbling hard and almost bring it up to the ceiling where oKhaliD is, making it much easier on him to get the stop. Now with 30 seconds left to go, it is quite the bounce back for Atow in game 2. You see forfeits go both ways sometimes. Sometimes they're big mistakes as they allow the player who just crushed to keep that momentum immediately into the next game, and sometimes it's what the losing player needs to mentally reset, and it seems like that's the case in this matchup against oKhaliD. These two fighting for a match against apparently Jack in the quarterfinals. So we might get a classic run back of the Jack versus oKhaliD 1v1 matchups. And I'll be honest, that's how I set up the bracket today. Tried to make sure that all the cross-region matchups were likely to happen, you know, regardless of who won, as well as maybe farming some content matchups that everyone would love to see. Atow tapping this one to the ground and tying up the series. Game number 3. Over the course of the day today, I think I'm going to try and keep it somewhat calm in terms of commentating, knowing that I have a marathon of matches today. Can't burn out the voice immediately. Hopefully you guys understand. oKhaliD, who just barely not able to capitalize on his fake. His bounce dribbles and carries are so threatening. I'm going to be surprised to see Atow have long-term success with allowing oKhaliD to get to that position. He kind of snuck away with one this time, though. Able to cover the fake flick. Have it bounce off the back wall. Is there a prize pool? Dono boosted. Yeah, so I put up $1,000. It's going going to be winner take all. I did think about, I put up a donation goal on the, oh, wow, what a clear by Atow, on the other screens, like the intermission screens basically. And I wanted to try and think of something to be an incentive if you guys wanted to donate. What is it that you guys want, chat, as Atow goes for an air dribble bump? Is it that you want me to ban air dribble bumps if somebody donates another $1,000 to the prize pool, or if everybody collectively donates another 1,000? Are you streaming all the matches? Yes, I am. Throw a pogo reward. Air dribble bump equals goal for opponent. So it's even worse. It's a negative goal. Atow passing to himself off the ceiling. A flashy setup, but nothing comes of it. Where is AJ at? AJ is still in North America. I asked players who are all on EU servers, or like the MENA players who are, of course, used to playing on EU servers. And AJ is not in EU/MENA until next week. Same thing with Daniel. oKhaliD. Kickoff to make it 2-2. Crazily though, Yan is already in EU. I mean, you guys know this if you've been watching the stream, because we had a match with him, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? But I just sent the invites as a long shot, and I'm glad I did. I said, yo, Yan, if by some chance you're already in EU, then there's this tournament that you should definitely play in. And I thought for sure they weren't going to be, but yeah, they're there. They're already there. Furia is, I don't know where in EU, but clearly somewhere in EU because of the 20 or so ping that Yan had on EU servers. Nice reset by Atow. Make it 3-3. The 50-50 GOAT is back. That is true. Although he hasn't been looking to farm the 50s today. He's going to try and get one right now, but Atow actually does a great job to control this. A few different times, Atow has turned his speed up to 11, though, and hasn't really gotten anything out of it. Has lost control of the ball. He's going to try and go the full distance to the field. Atow loves his pogos! oKhaliD gives him a nice one because Atow bounces this ball right inside the near post. oKhaliD not expecting that quick of a shot. 111 km/h shot. All oKhaliD can do is throw the nice one in chat. oKhaliD allowed to get to his bounce dribble. Atow challenging him at the midfield. Try and prevent him from getting anything going. And Atow, what an own goal. You love to see it. Atow put into a position where he felt like he had to get a touch on the ball because oKhaliD, of course, is waiting right behind it. And so he needed some kind of clear, but that certainly wasn't a clear. That was just tapping it directly into his own net. Yo, Hugo Philbar, thank you for the gifted sub. Wow, what a ground pinch by Atow. But oKhaliD actually covers it. Full field dribble to reset. Atow recovering off of his pinch attempts. Trying to play this as passive as possible, but basically forced to because oKhaliD set up his dribble so quickly. Feer, what do you think about Nush? I think Nush has shown some very promising games so far. But like many other... Oh my goodness, what a save from Atow. That was a great shot by oKhaliD too. But anyways, like many other prodigies or youngsters before him, a lot of the times it takes a bit to iron it out and to, get the confidence and turn it into consistent winning gameplay. And so that could certainly be the case for Nush if he cleans it up a bit more. There's no doubt when he's peaking, you could tell he has the tools. Can you set up Rewas versus First Killer? I don't know if I'll have time to. I think we've done Rewas versus First Killer before. But when we did that, it was actually before a major instead of like after Worlds like we're doing now. Air dribble bump for oKhaliD. He is back in the lead. Chrome the fourth. Thank you for the brand new Prime. Do I think Nush will go pro? I think he could. It's very early, you know, for a 13-year-old player to really worry about that too much. But, you know, it all depends how Nush plays his improvement. Nice shots. Really good counterattack off the demo. I don't know if you really call it a counterattack. Basically, capitalizing off of a demo, which is not easy to do when the ball is already in the orange half or, you know, in the defending half. Usually the player can respawn and make a save in time, but Atow made quick work. Flicking crossbar and down. Actually, not a bad position for him. Atow just locks in on oKhaliD and goes for the bump instead of making a play on the ball. Now he's got himself an opportunity to maybe ice out the game. Dribble from his back box, but did not get anything useful out of it. He does return to net before oKhaliD sends his hook shot. Now oKhaliD a possession play into his back corner. Atow grabs the midfield. oKhaliD, what does he have in store? He goes for another slight delay, slight fake to get Atow moving, but Atow covers the shot well. Now Atow into the air. He has no help. Oh, he has a demo. He didn't keep it up. No. I was going to say he has no help from the clock. He has to keep it in the air. And despite what was probably certainly been a goal if he was allowed to let it hit the ground, could not find a way to do it while keeping it in the air after the demo. 0-50. oKhaliD wins it out and might win the game from it. Somebody talked about the 50-50 GOAT earlier. Well, here it is. This is the content you wanted. Atow trying to fall from the ceiling and recover from losing the ball, but he could not win a 50 against oKhaliD, and now oKhaliD's one game away from advancing. Hey YouTube, today's video is brought to you by War Thunder. War Thunder is one of the most comprehensive vehicle combat games ever made. You can play as 2,000 different tanks, planes, helicopters, ships, everything you could ever hope for in dynamic PvP battles. And all of the vehicles are incredibly detailed. It is almost lifelike the way they have set up this game. And another way that it's very lifelike is when you get damaged in game, you'll actually see real life damage. You know, the vehicle will fall apart in ways that make sense as opposed to just like a silly damage meter. It is a very immersive game, and you can play PvP at a bunch of different levels. So depending on how immersive you want to get, they have every option for you here on War Thunder. And if you check out War Thunder using my link in the description, you guys can get a large free bonus pack. So please check out War Thunder today. Thank you, Jewel. Hopefully you had a good time hiking. Game number 4. The matchup after this one is the winner of this series against apparently Jack. Is this one of the new football decals? Or is that a decal that I just don't recognize? Haven't seen as much before. Yo, Reed, thank you for the 3 gifted subs. Atow, a pogo bounce behind the ball. He actually got a decent 50. Can he convert it for a goal? He does! Atow, as much as he loves the pogos, he usually does the pogo shot, but this time he does the pogo reset that Dark does, or the pogo bounce that Dark does, but he got the reset on the 50, and that makes it so he can wave dash to the shot. Absolutely insane mechanics from Atow. Now he's going to half flip off this kickoff. oKhaliD is dancing around the ball. It seemed like oKhaliD meant to just cut it back into his own corner. A man after Johnny Boy's own heart, who frequently says that is, you know, the perfect counter to somebody disregarding the kickoff. But it's not the perfect counter if you can't actually touch the ball and instead you do a ring around the rosy and just drive around it. What is Atow's decal? That's what I was asking you guys. It looks like RB Leipzig decal, according to chat. Chat always knows. They are elite item encyclopedia knowers. That was I nailed that sentence. That's exactly how I wanted to say it. It's in the Bundesliga bundle. I'm sure I said that perfect too. It's all about confidence. Atow needs a game win. He has kept oKhaliD scoreless, but he's not going to be able to recover in net this time. Wanted to make an attacking save at the ball. Certainly would have been a high-value clear had he connected. But it's oKhaliD on the board. Yeah, we're streaming all of Stage 1 today. Can you believe that? We're going to deteriorate into madness around Match 8. But I do it for you guys. No, I do it also because I have to leave this weekend for an Ultimate Frisbee tournament, and then I'm going to Gamers 8 pretty much right when I get back from that, so I'm going to have a huge break. I want to make sure that we have a ton of content for the break. Maxter Dax, thank you for the tier 1 for 4 months. Any news from Baby Feer? No, Baby Feer, believe it or not, has said anything from inside, has not said anything from inside the womb yet. Wait, how did this goal just happen? Was this not oKhaliD just own goaling? Yeah, okay, it was. I was reading chat who just subbed because I was slightly confused. But I was pretty sure that oKhaliD hit that ball. Yeah, he just dunked Atow into his own net. He says, I'm going to win 50s no matter which direction. Is Baby Feer SSL yet? He's not. Peter Wiggin, are you playing club? Yeah, I play with the Arizona mixed team called Lawless. Atow. Ceiling resets. But the ensuing shots is nothing too crazy. Oh my goodness, Atow so clean. This is just this is art. This is art, the way Atow sets this up. The reset musty double top right, and specifically just the way his car moves. It's just beautiful. oKhaliD just giving you flashbacks every time he's able to control that ball for a ground dribble. Nothing can make you feel more confident, but Atow's actually had a lot of success challenging those dribbles early. He's done a good job of stopping oKhaliD before he gets going, and we haven't seen too much of oKhaliD trying to punish that with any early flicks or any early pops. He's going to try and punish Atow right now. What a save. That is one of the attempted counters to disregarding the kickoff. But if the player plays it correct and has the mechanics to get the boost and recover directly towards net, then they can cover basically everything. And oKhaliD just kind of proved that. He hit it about as hard as you could get away with off the kickoff and to the perfect spot, and Atow still got the save. Atow, ground dribble of his own. He's going to go for the classic 1v1 play. One in chat if you've ever done this play. There's got to be a ton of ones because even we can get away with this at our low ranks. That one's a classic. That makes sense through every single rank of 1v1. I only do this. That's why, like, not only do I do this before, it's actually the only way I know how to score. I cannot shoot the ball, so I just roll it at the net, and then I go demo the defender. Atow launching this flick. Little camera check to see how quickly oKhaliD is recovering, and oKhaliD's surprising him. Ooh, not able to read the double faster than Atow can recover. Now it's actually going to be Atow with a goal, so that was a crucial moment for oKhaliD if he wanted to try and prevent Game 5. Atow using his wave dash kickoff to get to the midfield first. He could try and ice this game out by not necessarily taking shot attempts, but holding on to possession. Does that slightly by taking the ball far away from the net, over the top of oKhaliD into the side wall. He actually did try his best to get the angle still, but it was more important. As that he took precious moments off the clock. This is a great recovery for a save. oKhaliD is going to get into the zone where he's just had to boom the ball at net every moment he has. This time he tries to control, and like I said, Atow has actually done really, really well. Even late in this game where you'd almost expect oKhaliD to be flicking early, he still doesn't. Atow able to steal the ball at the top of his car. oKhaliD, what a nice double. Would have been a goal if it weren't for the 0 seconds, but he was down by multiple. We are headed to Game 5. Game number 5. Zamax says Feer shivering at the thought of every series going to 5. You know, to be fair, that did cross my mind. I was like, you know what would be nice? Doing 8 series in one day if all 8 of them went to Game 5. You know what? At the end of the day, I think I'd still take it. Content is king, and that would be insane content if somehow every single match went to Game 5. Despite the fact that I would actually die afterwards. These two players at the start of Game 5 flying around the field max speed. Maybe playing it a bit safer as we approach the first minute scoreless, which is not something I think we've seen so far between these two. Bounce dribble from oKhaliD. Can't get the 50. Credit to Atow, who's done such a good job challenging the ball, covering every option on the way there such that oKhaliD doesn't feel like there's any outplay to be made, so he ends up waiting and hoping for a 50, but Atow has done a good job of winning those as well. Atow tapped this around oKhaliD, but got himself demoed, so it should just be possession with space now for oKhaliD. oKhaliD, long shot will be the first goal. I think Atow trying to recover after his demo, just recovered a bit too far. Or getting demoed, I should say. Turn down says, question, do you think teams like Optic and V1 will have an advantage going to Gamers 8 considering their extra time to practice 1s and 2s? I'm going to go with no. I don't think it's necessarily like that. I think that with the 2 weeks heading up to Gamers 8, the teams that are playing are going to have their time to get back into form in 1s and 2s. And I don't think that the couple extra weeks that maybe the other players have had practicing the game modes will be that different, or will make that much of a difference, especially considering, you know, some of the teams that I guess Optic and V1 are great examples of teams that are really talented, just about worlds class. So it's not like they're that outclassed by the players who are at worlds, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be that big of an advantage. Atow on the board as he steals away the aerial from oKhaliD. The Dancing Dino seems to be the most popular global Twitch emote I've ever seen. Maybe not. Maybe that's not true. I'm forgetting that there's like Kappa and some of the other ones that are like Resident Sleeper. There's some really mainstays. Pog, of course, PogChamp. But this new Dino one, people seem to love it. Atow can't quite chase khalid down. Khalid will chase him down and earn himself a bunch of space again. Last time we saw this, Atow dove in as he desperately tried to rejoin the play, and Khalid was able to push it over the top of him. This time, Atow a bit smarter, turns back at midfield. Khalid, bounce dribble with defender waiting in net. Tried to slot it top left. Even though he didn't, did force a tough save out of Atow, but Atow did well to keep the ball out of a playable position for Khalid, and then actually was first back to it. Atow, a clear. As a last-ditch effort with 0 boost. Able to reset on 100 at the midfield. That is a really strong back pass. But he's going to be able to get away with it because Khalid chased him all the way down. Very interesting. I wonder if there's a world in which Khalid could peel off of the demo chase earlier and make a better play on the ball, but because he fully committed to it, found himself on Atow's back wall, one step behind in the race to the ball. This time Khalid does not put on nearly as effective as a shot to counter Atow's disregard of the kickoff. But it's still going to end up favoring Khalid as Atow gives it back. Khalid looking to take this back into his corner. Gets first possession, and Atow is not able to dive him. So it does look like just a clean win for Khalid. Atow dunks away his dribble again, though. Khalid has not had as much success as he would have liked, I'm sure, when he brings that ball to a carry. Having to back off at the midfield without any boost. Didn't grab the corner either, so yeah, Atow knows. Khalid has become a very one-dimensional defender as soon as he recognizes that he's doing so with 0 boost. You really just have to panic flip at the ball. If you slow down, you will not be getting any acceleration without boost, which will make it even tougher. So Atow will just cut it around him. 3-3 with 40 seconds left to go. Looking like we are indeed in for a party today in the Feer Fiesta, with the first game down to the wire in Game 5. Atow, tap on target, and it's over the top of Khalid. 30 seconds. And it's going to need to be a kickoff masterclass from Khalid. Are we going to see any fakes from Atow? Normally those are coming on diagonals. No, it's wave dash kickoff for Atow. But Khalid wins it into the orange half. Might be able to snag a demo here. Does. Can he convert it for a goal? Because this ball is not in the best position. The pinch across the net. Atow is actually just going to dive for the opposite corner boost. Khalid wanted another demo. Now he finds himself with 0. And Atow with a full tank. He might be handing the ball over. Khalid, though, actually jumped. He was worried about the potential Atow shot. Seconds left to go. Khalid has possession. Atow, can he get the save? He does. He sends it to the corner. It's in the air, but the demo will certainly secure it. Atow tries his best to keep it up, but it's GG's. Atow will move on to face Jack in the quarterfinals. Remember to check out War Thunder today. Use my link in the description, and you can get a nice free bonus pack.